The mystery of the 17 billion fuel that arrived at the port of Mombasa on the night of 10th October had a registration number of 950-581, and flying on it was a Liberian flag that was registered from Monrovia. And with it was being led by this one man, the captain being Ali Ibrahim. The consignment belonged to one Anjeri Import and Export Enterprise. And why am I saying it belonged to Anjeri? It's simply because of the bill of lading. And what is a bill of lading? It is simply a document that strictly shows proof of ownership. The cargo was en route from Russia to Mombasa through Jeddah in Saudi Arabia. But according to the documents we've seen, the consignment was from Kazakhstan. Anjeri, being a guru in the fuel field, it is evidently clear that she has been doing business with other African countries, of which might have been facilitating free ports. And having this consignment coming to her motherland, Kenya, Anjeri knew pretty well that it will be smooth for her to do business. Little did she know that what was awaiting for her immediately her consignment docks at the Mombasa port. And through her lawyer, Cliff Ombeta, this is what he had to say.
Hapa ameambiwa kuwa aende zake kabisa na asirudi. Na zile meli zingine ambazo alikuwa anatarajia kuleta ambazo ni kama 4, nazo pia arudishe ama sizikaingia hapa. Kumbuka captain wa ile meli ambao mahakama ilikuwa imesema kuwa hiyo meli baki kama thibitisho kwa kesi, iliachiliwa. Captain akaenda zake. Captain mwenyewe ana confirm kuwa alipewa vitisho, akaambiwa kuwa usijaribu tena kusema kuwa hii mali ni ya Anjeri, kwa sababu kisema hatutakuruhusu ufanye biashara hapa ama ulete mizigo hapa. So hii system ambayo tunakuwa nayo ni aina gani hiyo? Hii ni sheria aina gani? Hii ni serikali aina gani? Kama serikali yenyewe ndio majambazi, sisi tutaenda wapi? Ataenda wapi? Ni mtu mfanyibiashara tena kwa miaka mingi, si mtu mdogo, ana kampuni zake na amepeleka mafuta nchi zingine nyingi sana.
And one of the greatest mistakes that Anjeri failed to understand is the framework that was unveiled by President William Samoei Ruto on the government-to-government framework that he launched months ago, giving just 3 companies the jurisdiction to supply fuel to all petrol stations countrywide, and also he made it their mandate to also collect money and pay the countries that had supplied the fuel to Kenya, and that solved the equation of government-to-government framework. And that is exactly how President William Samoei Ruto repetitively kept on telling Kenyans that they were going to buy fuel in terms of Kenya shillings.
Economic advisor Didnt, Mohammed Hassan, Davis Chirchir, and the young man at EPRA, those 4 gentlemen have done something phenomenal in our country. They have managed to put together a program that has taken us away from looking for $500 million every month to buy our fuel needs, which was slowly snowballing into a crisis. Today, as a country, we can buy fuel in Kenya shillings, something that many people never thought it would be possible. Again, I want to commend these good people. And let me tell you that from this month of April, all our fuel marketers and all the people in that space, they will be able to buy our products, fuel products, in Kenya shillings. And it will remove pressure on our dollars. In fact, in the next 1 month or so, you will see dollars coming down, the exchange rate coming down in a very phenomenal way.
And if I'm just to contextualize further, there's something referred to as escrow account. And this is usually an account that is used by the government as a national courier when making payments to any deal or contractors. And in most cases, the government has been using Kenya Commercial Bank in clearing its debt or paying its contractor. And how does KCB come in through the fuel saga concerning Njeri Import and Export Enterprise? It is simply KCB, immediately when the oil had docked at the Mombasa port, KCB has to issue a letter of credit to the owner of the oil just to indicate that the money is in the bank account. Then guess what next? It is for the 3 companies that were given the mandate to collect the money through countrywide in all petrol stations, collects the money, then pays the KCB. Then it is through the KCB bank that pays the supplier, the UAE countries, and strictly in terms of dollar form. How Njeri comes in through this whole theatrics in the fuel saga is simple. Remember, as earlier stated, I've categorically stated that Njeri is a guru in the fuel industry. So just like other importers who have been importing oil from sanctioned Russia, but according to the bill of lading, it states that the oil was from Kazakhstan. Of course, business had to go on despite the ongoing geopolitics that are currently going on in the Western countries. And so the only way for Russia to sell its oil is just to have it look like it is from the UAE or Saudi Arabia. And that is exactly the same way how things or the sequence went down. And so under the leadership of this one man, Captain Ali Ibrahim, and the sole owner being Njeri Import and Export Enterprise, the ship went through all the ship procedures and routines, not until when it docked at the coastal ports of Mombasa. But no sooner had the ship docked at Mombasa than things began going south for Njeri. Maybe Njeri, being the sole owner, expected that if the ship had docked at the port of Mombasa, immediately after clearing her consignment, then she will do the kind of trade of willing buyer, willing seller. But guess what? Things turned out to be messy, and it became next to impossible for her to access her consignment. Remember, her consignment has docked at the port of Mombasa, but she's restricted. She cannot access it. Guess what next? She's connected to an ex-KRA official, to whom the KRA official connects her to a senior incumbent government official. Sooner or later, she disappears in the thin air, only for her to reappear with senior counsel Cliff Ombeta. And honestly, from where I sit, there are several disturbing questions regarding her consignment. Like, how is she even a billionaire when her own mom disregarded the cognizant fact that her daughter is not, or she's not aware that her daughter is a billionaire?
Then I am okay. The Daily Nation newspaper she holds displaying her daughter's face over the headline, "Face Behind 17 Billion Shillings Fuel," paints a strange contrast to the humble wooden two-bedroom house the mother of the oil baron sits in, flanked by humble sofa sets with cloths draping over them. And here is the plot twist. Pauline has no idea that her daughter makes the billions of shillings associated with her work in the oil industry, adding that she only knew her daughter runs businesses in Kenya and Dubai. She only found out that her daughter was missing through the...
And maybe, secondly, why will she risk a whopping 17 billion consignment of fuel if she knew very well that she had not complied with all EPRA certifications? And last but not least, my dear brother and sister, I kid you not, it may be next to impossible for Kenyans to know the real owners, the real owner of this consignment, simply because politicians have decided to indulge themselves into this matter. But honestly, that has just been my opinion. If you do have a contrary opinion to mine, kindly feel free to drop them in the comment section and I'll give them a right of reply. And as I come to the penultimate part of this video, in case if you're watching me for the very first time, kindly just consider hitting on the subscribe button. If you've been watching my videos and you have not subscribed, kindly just feel free to click on the subscribe button. And more so, if you're watching me from a different platform, either Telegram, TikTok or Facebook, kindly just head on over to YouTube, search for Mohamed Sudi. I'll be the first right person to pop up if matters socio-economic and political matters are your great areas of concern. Kindly do feel free to click on the subscribe button so that each and every time that I upload a new video, it will automatically reflect on your notification panel. And by so doing, you'll simply be supporting my content. Thank you and may God bless you.